What's up, guys? Jimmy Bluff here. Welcome to my beautiful Santa Monica office. I saw the ceilings in this place when I walked in and I was like, holy smokes, I'm in love. So come check out where surgery without the knife happens. So I've been in the healing arts for like 20 years now. Originally, I grew up in Northeast Pennsylvania, and I was always very empathic, was always into sports, athletics, and I was very sensitive. My mom had severe scoliosis, and I could always just feel her pain. So of course I thought, hey, maybe I'll become a physical therapist. So I went out to the University of Utah, and then Utah College Massage Therapy, started working with 24 Hour Fitness, and by the time I was finished with therapy school, I was offered assistant general manager, at the fitness center, and then got offered general manager. And then quickly realized when I went back to the University of Utah that the style of teaching and learning wasn't necessarily about healing. It wasn't about anything related to what I really wanted to learn. So at that point in time, I just took over the fitness center as general manager, because financially I was doing better than physical therapist at that time. Went into personal training and really fell in love with that, and that's when I really started to implement my healing and physical healing work. And then that quickly grew as more and more people kind of found out about my style of healing. It brought me to where I trademarked it, because what I did, people kept asking, what do I ask for when I go to the spa? I said, well, ask for Jimmy Bluff. But what I do is very unique and very different. I like to work with the connective tissue linings and the fascia specifically. They say the fascial tissue's got 2,000 pounds of tensile strength per square inch, and it has the consistency of steel wool. So I can get in there and I can feel every muscle fiber. I can feel the connective tissue as one of my gifts, and then I can manipulate it and get that tissue to release. And my goal is to do it in the least amount of discomforting way I can. So my clients aren't yelling, they're not screaming. I believe when I do my healing to take 3 steps forward and hold, not take 5 steps forward and have people be bruised or anything like that. So my goal is to provide my clients the most safe, protective environment to where they can feel comfortable and be okay being vulnerable and allowing me to hold space. And it's kind of beautiful as a man. I joke, but when I'm in ceremony, clients will say, like, I basically become like nothing. And it's true. There's no man, there's no woman. I'm just become a hollow bone. And a lot of times something will come through, and clients are like, do you remember saying that? I'm like, I don't remember, what did I say? And just certain things will channel through at times. So it's really wonderful. I've kind of continued to evolve over the last 20 years, and now it's evolved to basically be a personal ceremony where I smudge people, I sage people when they come in. The body keeps the score. It's actually a book where it talks about how the body physically can take on a lot of trauma that happens to us in our lives emotionally, and that also has a role to play with our spirit. So aside from my physical healing work, I've also begun doing my online coaching to really help people hold their alignment with their mental, emotional, and spiritual alignment with life. So that's been really exciting as well. Not only just getting people in alignment on the table, but then helping them not only hold that alignment, but without any self-defeating beliefs, and truly a different foundation of thinking and belief systems. It's really rad to help my clients, not only overcome pain in some situations, but some people, just create, the life of their dreams, where, before they didn't realize like they could. And then you just empower people So it's fun. You know, I've had a lot of situations, and I guess I can share with you a couple of stories of like why I really went the route of more in the healing side of things, because I love training clients. I was booked 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. I had my own private training studio, Truest Potential. I had like 3-year dreams, and I hit them all in 7 months, and I'm like, crap, now what? And that's when I moved to LA. And I remember one of my clients came in, and he was a veteran from war, and he just came out of a $50,000 a month pain clinic, and he was kind of rolled forward, real muscular guy. And he says, you know, Jimmy, I don't want to be a drug addict. You know, I'm on like 10 oxys a day. And I was like, hey man, I was like, you're not a drug addict. You're just trying to survive. I think he was a paramedic, and he fell behind enemy lines. His carabiner didn't catch or something, so he broke his back. And I remember getting into his psoas, where, you know, it's your innermost abdominal, can create a lot of back pain, and can also store a lot of emotions and trauma. And when I got in there, his whole back just released, and he started crying, and he's like, oh my gosh, I don't feel any pain. And, you know, so then he sends his mom in, and this was another really incredible experience. You know, I'm named after a man who passed away in Vietnam with Purple Heart, among other medals. So I have, you know, a lot of respect for servicemen and a lot of my clients who are servicemen. So he sends his mom in, and his mom walks in, and she's like, I don't know about this. And, you know, I was like 270 at the time, still bodybuilding, and she has a purple jumpsuit on, and she's got, you know, silver curly hair. And I says, you know, ma'am, I said, I accept your judgment. I said, I'm booked out a few weeks. I said, your son said you were really in pain and really wanted to see if I could get you in sooner. I said, but tell you what, 20 minutes, no harm, no foul. If you like it, we'll keep going. If not, no big deal, I'll go to lunch. So we get through the session, and during the session I find out that, you know, she had just lost her partner, her husband. And she's like, you know, Jimmy, I just want to walk around the block in the morning like I used to with my partner. And I'm like, that's all you want to do to be happy? Like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to do whatever I can to freaking make you happy, you know? So that's all it takes. So she ended up rescheduling, which I was really surprised. But what was so funny, the next week she came in, and she came in the following week, and I opened the door, you know, and this woman throws her arms in the air and hugs me, and I've been thinking about you. And I still remember to this day, it was like 10 years ago. I look behind me as I'm thinking, like, is she talking to me? And she had like a new outfit on and lipstick, and her hair was done, and I'm like, this woman looked like 15 years younger. And I was so confused. I was washing my hands, and she was getting on the table, and I felt this emotion come over me, and I'm like crying, I'm like sobbing, I'm like 270, and I'm like, why am I crying? This, you know, nice little old lady, I don't get it. And it hit me, it was gratitude, because I felt gratitude for just showing up and doing what I intentionally showed up to do, helping this woman not only feel safe with this giant, masculine, tatted man, but being able to be vulnerable enough to share the traumas that she experienced, both emotionally and then physically, being able to allow me to remove that pain, and then coming back and not even being remotely, like, I didn't even recognize her at first. So that experience in the beginning, you know, probably 10, 15 years ago now, earlier in my career, really set the path for me to just like, holy shit, like, I want to feel like this all the time, if it means tears of joy or tears of gratitude. So, you know, I've always given more than 100%. I've always given almost 200%. And that's one reason I've got it tatted 200% unconditional. And then on my other wrist, I have truth, you know, because that's all I'm ever going to bring people. And it's been really interesting career. I remember one of my shamans years ago, she's like, whoa, she's like, what a hard life. And I was like, come again, excuse me? And she's like, oh, nothing. She didn't realize I heard her, because I basically peel apart trauma and fiberglass with my fingertips. And I've had times before in my career where, I was working too much and I'd have to drain my elbow, like 30 cc's of fluid. I got to the point where I was even draining my own elbow and having to shove a needle. And like, that's just the most disgusting, uncomfortable thing in the world. And I was literally hurting myself to heal others, which, like, wrap your head around that, right? It's kind of crazy. So I've learned, over the years, having a little bit more wisdom to obviously take care of myself and create a lot more balance and a lot more boundaries with my schedule, limiting my schedule because I do create so much friction. And obviously, I kind of look at it like I'm a dragon slayer. I'm helping people release trauma, pain. Some of it came from emotional places, and I love being able to walk through hell with people, if you will. Because 9 times out of 10, when I'm dealing with some really severe traumatic pain, someone will start talking about something that they've been dealing with in life. So, I don't judge it. I just look at it as stuck energy, if you will. It could be inflammation, could be pain, could be whatever. It's just stuck energy. So it's been really, really interesting how my career has just kind of continued to evolve. This week I had a beautiful couple come in from Chicago. Last month I had people come in from Canada, England. I've got clients who flew in from Mexico the week before last. So I've got a gentleman coming in next week from Dubai for 12 hours, just a complete transformation, a world-class bodybuilder. So I've got children with cerebral palsy that are clients. I've got people with scoliosis. So it's really a pretty crazy mixture. I've worked with 6-month-old babies. I've worked with Yorkies. It's been a pretty intense 9/11 heroes, baseball players, rock stars. It's been a pretty crazy life, like getting to meet so many people that inspired me. You know what I mean? It's like, I remember I was driving the car, listening to Guns N' Roses, and I was like, I've worked with members of the band before. It was like so cool. And then, one of the gentlemen's car I was driving was a famous in the bodybuilding community, and I was like, man, what a cool life, getting to hang out with people like, Mike O'Hearn and different people that have inspired me, and then, meeting them on a personal level, and then like, holy smokes, like seeing like why they're at that level and then being inspired even more. It's a really cool place to be at in my career, and with some of the people who had so many incredible transformational experiences physically on the table. That's a little bit of what more so my online transformational program is, working with me, online instead, to setting that mental, emotional, and spiritual foundation in alignment. So it's really exciting.